Well, it's a sweltering hot afternoon here in Leamington, and what could be better than to be down by the riverside contemplating a little splash about? And where better to do that than the Royal Leamington Spa Canoe Club, which is where I am today. And I'm sat with one of the head coaches, Brett Cyril. Brett, welcome to Life in Lem.
Hi, nice to meet you, Tim.
So, look, start us off with a big picture. What is Royal Leamington Spa Canoe Club?
Well, we are actually one of the oldest canoe clubs in the country. We're here to get people involved and engaged in paddle sports, essentially.
Yeah, and it's lovely. On a summer's day, you obviously see people going about on canoes around near pumpkin gardens and the like. Where do you actually use? Because obviously you've got a little bit of water between the weirs here, but presumably you go elsewhere as well?
Yeah, so today we'll have a training session with some of the juniors, and in the summer, we're lucky enough we can portage Princess Weir. It's just steps down, and we'll train on that section all the way up to Warwick Castle and back. And then in the winter, we'll stay on the River Lem up here in this section. We've got we've got a 2K loop here, so it's 1K either way, and then it's 4K down there, 4K loop. So plenty of water.
That sounds terrifying and exciting both at the same time. So, Brett, if I can ask, how did you get into paddle sports in the first place?
I got involved at school a long time ago. I was rubbish at rugby and I didn't want to be stuck on the pitch. I tried cycling for a little bit until I got run over. And I said to my parents, I'm going to do a bit of canoeing. And they said, okay, well, we don't want you paddling in the winter. And I said, all right then. So I said, I'll just do it for the summer. And 30 odd years later, I'm still paddling, training in the winter very hard. But the nice thing about canoeing is it is great for all ages. It's a team sport and it's an individual sport. I think sometimes you find the kids love the fact that once they're out on the water, that's their own space. They can do what they want. They can have their own fun. You know, we'll keep an eye on them to keep them safe. Yeah. Right.
And in terms of, you talked about kids, I mean, what sort of age range do you accommodate within the club?
Officially, it's kind of around about 9 years old, 8 years old. As soon as they are good at taking instructions, that means we can keep them safe, and we also can teach them paddle skills.
Right. And if it's a youngster, do they need to come with a responsible adult as well, or are you able to take care of them by themselves?
We can help as coaches, so we have junior sessions. So we cover all those bases and just keep them safe and make sure they're having fun and getting engaged.
Right, so you meet down here on Adelaide Road, right opposite Victoria Park, don't you? If someone were to go, I'd really like to have a go at that. I've never done anything like that before. What can they do and what can you do to help them?
If they want, they can do courses, or if they want to get involved, specifically for them, they've got special requirements. We can do special coaching sessions to get them engaged and get them involved, and then get them integrated with the other paddlers. There's groups and sessions going on every day of the week, and Saturday mornings as well. We've got several groups going on, which is great. We've got the junior groups, we've got the adult groups, we've got the racing groups, we've got the whitewater and recreational paddling, fun groups, those kind of stuff. So yeah.
You name it, you've got it really. If it floats, you'll do it, sort of thing. And for people that are non-swimmers or not confident swimmers, is that an obstacle to them getting involved?
Again, we will assess their requirements and their needs to make sure they are safe when they get in a boat, and they can be part of the club.
Right. Now, one of the things that always terrified me about the thought of canoeing was this thing I imagine you have to do to capsize and be able to recover from being capsized before you're allowed out. Is that folklore or is that a real thing?
I guess to some extent it's folklore. I never learnt to do a Eskimo roll as such for a long time, and then I'd worked with, I'd raced for the GB team. And it wasn't until I went on a surf trip that I realised I really should learn this. But generally that's what the courses are for. If people want to learn to do that skill, we can get involved. In certain boats we will do capsize rescue drills. And that's just another way of keeping our paddlers safe on the water. Yeah,
exactly. So I guess I've talked about absolute beginners here, but there may well be people that used to do various paddle things, maybe canoed early in their life, or they've been on holiday and done some paddle boarding and stuff like that, and have sort of got a taste for it. What can you do for them?
Again, we would like to get them back involved. I took a long break myself, actually, for a good number of years, maybe, I won't say too many years, so I won't work out my age. So I think canoeing and paddle skills is one of those things that stays with you. It stays with you. And so, I could use the analogy of riding a bike, but it's slightly different.
Riding a pedalo, perhaps, that's the... You're one of the lead coaches here, Brett. Just so people understand, not everyone can just walk off the streets or swim off the streets and become a coach here. What sort of qualifications and training do you need to be able to do this?
Paddle UK has got an extensive set of courses and training that they are keen to make sure all your coaches are qualified. Of course, we have all our DBS and safeguarding training that we do for any adult which is involved in any group. So it's not just about learning skills and teaching people and having fun on the water. We can actually help some of our teenagers become coaches, so that then gives them a formal qualification moving forward, so they can take it away with them. Yeah,
and some terrific skills that are life skills, not just paddle skills.
Yeah, that's kind of what I like about canoeing, is that, as I mentioned, when I took it on at school, I never thought that 30 years later, that I would be involved now coaching kids and still competing and racing and still doing the fun paddling and that kind of stuff.
So it sounds a really lovely way of spending, particularly the summer months. You do it clearly year round. Brett, bless you for that. So as Brett was saying, if you're interested, then go to the website. The link is in the accompanying text of the podcast.
Even if they're walking past, knock on the door. If there's something going on, we'd love to chat to them.
Brett, I can see, is really keen to get out on the water, and who can blame him on a sweltering afternoon like this? I sort of envy him a little bit. So thank you very much for your time this afternoon, and happy paddling.
Thank you very much. Lovely to meet you.